Henry, good news?
Yeah, it is good news. Yeah, it's great for the club. He's earned his spot in the team. I mean, we were talking about him 3 or 4 weeks ago, and feel like we've made him earn it. Yeah, so excited to see what he does on the weekend.
Fans are excited. Where do you sit on it? Are you excited for yourself?
Well, I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for the footy club. It's and he's a young AFL player, so he's going to take some time. We haven't seen the finished product yet with Liam, but what we will see is some excitement. He buys into the defensive side of the game. He's got some elite skills offensively, but it's going to take a little bit of time for him to develop into the player we need him to.
We've been asking the players about him and for comparisons over the last few weeks, and Cyril Rioli was a name that came up. Is the hype real?
Yeah, I don't know about Cyril. I mean, Liam will be Liam, and Liam will bring to the game what Liam brings to the game. It is exciting though, and he's a highly talented young player. He's going to take a little bit of time. He's lightly built, but we feel like he's earned his spot and he's ready. And I just hope he plays his role on the weekend and contributes to our forward line.
This moment's obviously been a long time coming, not just this year, but he's been in your academy the last few years. How have you seen him sort of deal with that level of expectation and then having to be patient at the same time?
Yeah, well, he's a really composed young kid who has wanted this for a long time, and his professionalism along the journey to get over his injuries and get himself back into the condition that's ready for AFL has been first class. So I haven't noticed that he's been impatient at all. I think he's really stuck to the process. He's, like I said before, he's earned his spot in the side, and we feel he's ready. He'll probably be on the lower end, but that's probably because it's his first game and take a while to get up to 80-90% of AFL footy. So, and plus it'll allow him to play to his strengths and bring his speed into the game if we play him a little bit lower game time. But he's ready to go. Like, he's done a lot of work behind the scenes. And he's been back fully training for about 6 to 8 weeks now. So he's got a good body of work behind him.
I guess you both arrived sort of officially here at a similar time. Physically, has he put on much weight, and how has he changed since you've been here?
Yeah, he's put on about 5 kilos, and that was an issue early, not only because he was light in the contest, but also just with he's had to do a lot of work to get his knee issues under control. And to his credit, he's worked his backside off, to get his strength up and get his fitness up, and he deserves the opportunity.
Justin, you spoke about him playing with Paul. What's your message to him on game day?
Well, really, it's just about doing the basics really well and controlling what he can control on the field, and that's doing the basics. Defensive pressure can always be there, and it's more about getting into good positions to create opportunities for himself. I'd hate him to go out there and think he has to kick a certain amount of goals or get a certain amount of touches. He's just got to get out there and control what he can control, play his role for the team, and naturally with his talent he'll have an impact on the game. 100%. Yep, 100%.
How's John Hanley going?
He's going well. He's back at the club, back around his teammates. He's enjoying being back. And he'll just continue to join in the recovery, the rehab group, and recover that ankle. First and foremost, he's got to get his ankle rehabbed enough to be able to get to that stage. So we're in that phase at the moment. Getting to Melbourne and back will be difficult. So we'll keep working through the logistics of that.
Jesse, hoping to get a look in this week?
His name came up at match committee. We feel like we'll just make the one change this week.
We don't get to see a lot of it, but Jesse's sort of first out and training today. Is he doing everything he can to impress you?
Yeah, absolutely. His attitude's been really good towards his footy, and we'll continue to split his time forward and back in the reserves. They'll get another good hit out against Sydney this week, and he'll get another opportunity to put his name forward.
Michael Walters played most of the last week. We like
No, we feel like our midfield balance is tracking well, and I feel like we got good supply in our forward line last week. So Sonny will play a similar role. As he regains match fitness and gets his touch back, we'll give him spurts in the midfield. But I think our issue is being able to hit the scoreboard. So the more we can spend, more we can have Sonny down forward and Fifey down forward, the more dangerous we're going to be this week and into the future. So we'll keep working on that balance, but we'd like him to play forward and be a dangerous threat there. Sorry, who's that? Luke? Oh, Luke Park. Yeah, I knew who he was. I just didn't hear you say his name. Yeah, it will be. I mean, they're in a similar position to us. They've given opportunities to younger players, and they're really starting to thrive, the Sydney younger players. So the field position battle is always the main thing in footy, and it usually comes down to the midfield. So it's going to be a good challenge in there. Well, not just the Indigenous players. There's added excitement through all the players. The jumper design's fantastic. Anthony Grover and his family's done an awesome job with that. And the players are really excited to get out there and represent the club and represent that jumper. So it's everyone.
Maybe looking back on your career as well, and some of the Indigenous players that have come through who sort of inspired you.
Oh yeah, we've had a rich history in the Indigenous culture at this club. I was good mates with Troy Cook and loved the way he went about it. Loved Des Headland's skill, loved the way Anthony Grover competed for every contest and took on every challenge. But number one was probably Kickety, to be honest. Loved the way he went about his footy. He's so humble as a person, and competed so hard for the jumper every time he went out there. So he's probably my favourite, but there's a pretty long list.
So you've played a heap of wet weather games since you've been back in Perth. Are you hoping for a dry game? And can you just talk about, is your game plan perhaps more suited to dry conditions, and have you had to sort of modify that in a sense because you've played so much wet weather footy?
Well, I wouldn't say game plan's more suited to dry weather. I think the players and the exposure to wet weather just hasn't been there over the years. And naturally in Perth you don't get a lot of wet weather footy. So we're a young team that hasn't had a lot of exposure to wet weather footy. But I feel like even on the weekend we were better than what we were the previous time we played in the wet against Geelong. We were better in the contest. Our structure held up better, and we were in front till the final siren went. So. Although we've probably played in a lot of wet weather games, I think it's going to hold us in good stead for the future when we do come up against that in that situation for the years coming. So I think the game plan's suited for all weather. It's just probably the exposure that we're getting. The exposure you get in the West, and as a young group, we just haven't had that exposure to the wet yet.
Just on the other night, was your belly speak to anyone from the AFL? Did you get any feedback about some of the controversy at the
Not really. We're constantly in dialogue with the umpires about decisions that happen week in, week out. I think the AFL clarified their stance to everyone on Monday, and we're happy. We've accepted that. We've moved on, and we're at peace with it. So that's where we sit at the moment. I don't know. I didn't ask him that question, and it didn't really come into our consideration. Liam's ready to play, and we've been trying to squeeze him in for a couple of weeks now, and it just happens to be, Indigenous round. So I'm pretty sure he'd be happy to play any round. He would probably thought he was due 2 weeks ago, to be honest. No, we've got to get through training. There's a few different scenarios floating around, so we'll get through training and have a sit down as a match committee after that.